Hi there, welcome to Bourbon Turntable. We are the show that blends the love of music with the love of whiskey. With me tonight, as always, is my very good friend, Drew Crawley. He's got a very healthy pour of something in that glass. I bet we'll find out a little bit more about what's in there in a little while.
I bet you would.
Yeah, yeah. Drew, how are you?
I'm doing well, sir.
Yeah,
As of the time we're recording this, it is middle of the beginning of holiday season. I'm not really sure what exactly we're in, but
we're on the outskirts of holiday season. Let's call it
yes.
that.
So we've begun Friendsgiving. I played in a football game yesterday that reminded me that I'm no longer an athlete, and my legs are so cramped today that I can
Uh-huh.
barely walk. But I'm drinking good whiskey and hanging out with friends talking about music, so I'm not going to complain too much.
Yeah, you'll survive. And fortunately, uh, no bones protruding from skin. So
That's
that's a good
correct.
thing. Yeah.
That's a win.
Yes, that is a win. Yeah. At some point, you do realize that you don't have to prove anything anymore in regards to athletic prowess,
Hmm.
and you're just like we're on the outskirts of holiday season. You're on the
I
outskirts of learning
think I
that.
might be there. I think I might be there, my friend. How was y'all's weekend?
Oh, really good. Uh, our older grandson had a 4-year-old birthday party. And if you've not been to a 4-year-old's birthday party sober, then you've missed out. So, no, it was really good. Just Cindy made a beautiful cake for it.
Yes.
He's into airplanes, Top Gun. So she made a Top Gun themed cake. Has the jet flying out of the cake. The cake looks like a cloud, and
Hmm.
if you follow me on Instagram, you can probably see it there. But yeah,
It's a very cool cake.
she's very good at that kind of stuff. Yeah, and but no, it was a good time, and he had a big amount of fun, so can't complain at all with that. So.
Awesome.
But we got a fun show tonight. Every now and then we'll do these shows where we just call them New Whiskey, New Music, where we'll share with you some of the new whiskeys that we're drinking and some of the new music that we're listening to. And you can, well, if it's something new that we're trying that we think is not good, we'll let you know that. If it's something that we really like, we'll let you know that. And the same thing on the music side of things. So hopefully you'll enjoy this. I know Drew and I'll have a fun time with it because we always do. But before we get into that, we want to tell you about Bar Cart Co-op. Bar Cart Co-op is a collection of friends who produce content for the whiskey enthusiast. Distillers Talk with Alan Bishop and Christy Atkinson. They talk with distillers from across the country and around the world about anything and everything when it comes to distillation. Alan also has a show, If You Have Ghosts, You Have Everything, where he'll branch off into some discussions of paranormal, religion, uh, ghosts, obviously UFOs, Bigfoot, you know, anything that, you know, might require a tinfoil hat. He's got it there. In all seriousness, it's a very interesting show. He really gets into some
Hmm.
good stuff with it, and I enjoy it quite a bit. He also does One Piece at a Time Distilling Institute, and on this show, he'll take in questions from distillers, whether you're a backyard distiller or you get a paycheck for distilling. You send him a question, he'll post an answer on Facebook or YouTube, and everybody can learn from your questions. We also have our newest member of Bar Cart Co-op is David Levine of Whiskey in My Wedding Ring. Uh, David is a really, really good guy. He's a fantastic writer and whiskey reviewer. He does podcasts. He writes articles. So we're glad to have him a part of the team. And My Whiskey Den with Pat and Mike and Mitch every Monday night, 9 o'clock Eastern, 8 o'clock Central. My Whiskey Den is where craft whiskey is king. Be sure to check them out and join the good people of the chat. And we want to tell you a little bit more.
All right. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, hit the bell notification to find out when new episodes come out, which is every Wednesdays on all of your streaming services everywhere. Apple, Spotify, whatever other ones there are, and the YouTube where you can watch the live recording itself.
Mike, we greatly appreciate you and your contribution to the show pretty much every week. So you're a mainstay here, and we appreciate that. But one of the things we're going to talk about right now is the some new whiskeys that we're trying.
Absolutely.
And what I have is a rum. Rum from our friend Turner Wathen at Rolling Fork Spirits. And this is a small batch rum. It's called the Amburana Odyssey. And it weighs in at 120.6 proof. Here's the bottle. It's kind of cool.
Gorgeous.
Yep. And it is 26% rum aged 9 years in bourbon, Amburana oak, and toasted bourbon casks. Then 19% rum aged 9 years in bourbon, Amburana, and toasted bourbon casks. So he's got 2 9-year rums in there. He's got that are aged in bourbon casks. 27% rum aged 11 years in bourbon, Amburana oak, and toasted rye whiskey casks. And then the last part of it is 28% of rum aged 11 years in bourbon, Amburana oak, and toasted rye casks. So there's some barrel work going on there for sure. So I got this the other day, and so let's give it a taste and see what we think.
Yeah. Now, I know Turner and Company were using at one point some Kelvin barrels. Is that still the same barrel company that they're using for this project? Do you know?
I do
Or
not
is
know.
it undisclosed?
It
Okay.
it is not on the it is not on the label. But this is wicked. It is a decadent spirit. It is very, very rich and caramel, and it's confectionery, which is a term that you use from time to time, Drew. And it's like a dessert drink. There's some apple in it. It's got just a little bit of baking spice to it. But when I say it's decadent, it really is, because you can just sit there and try it, and then you try it again, you get a little something different. You try it again, you get a little something different, and then you end up with half the bottle gone. But this is rich and beautiful, and I would highly recommend that you procure a bottle for yourself. This could be, as we're approaching the holidays, this could be a fantastic bottle to break out and share with people that appreciate a unique spirit. I mean, don't waste it on Uncle Ned that's going to want to, mix it with his Diet Sprite. Okay, there are things for Uncle Ned. This is something that if you happen to be around some people that really do appreciate a complex and unique spirit, this is something that they would appreciate and enjoy. So, Drew, you might get to try this sometime soon, buddy.
Yeah. I think I might need to make a stop by Bushwick. See what happens.
Yep.
Awesome.
Congratulations, Turner. That's fantastic. Now, yours is going to be related. I've got two because I'm, just that way.
Bougie like that? Yeah.
Bougie. Yes, I'm bougie like that. But my second one is somehow related to yours. So go ahead and talk through that, and I'll prep mine.
So I was just going through the liquor store this week looking for something new, and I found Clermont Steep. So it's a Beam Suntory product. I believe it's just north of 5 years. It's a 100% malt barley product, 94 proof, and this is their first kind of offering into the 100% malted barley kind of product. So the American single malt classification, although that is a tad ambiguous if you've been following the legislation as to what all that means. So the nose, to me, is just a little bit more on the sharper side. I get just a little bit of that copper, a little bit of that tobacco, and just kind of more of that grain forward, kind of the honey nut Cheerios thing.
Mhm.
And all that I mean in terms of sharp is there's not a pure sugar note or a wood note that jumps out immediately to me.
Okay.
So kind of get that tobacco, kind of get that note.
Okay.
Palate to me. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, yeah. Just, no, go ahead.
Oh, palate to me is gorgeous. You get a ton of the toffee, a little bit of kind of a dark chocolate note towards the finish. Kind of reminds me of a Heath note. The
Mhm.
tobacco is still there, just a little bit in terms of that dryness, but it's not overly oaked. And then you kind of get that little bit of light honey. Um, Here's your fat guy tasting note. I know we've already said confectionery, but almost like a Toblerone bar with the chocolate, the toffee, the honey, kind of all together, with just a little bit of that
I
richness
like
or
that.
darkness from the tobacco. So definitely a good buy. You know, it's a little bit more than what I would typically spend on a bottle. I think MSRP on this around town is generally between $60 and $70. And I think I picked this up at an Evergreen store for $62.99. So good price on it. But just a really unique offering from Beam Suntory. Obviously, as Freddie becomes more and more prominent within that organization, we're going to see some experimentation. Cool label, interesting proof to be 94. They do that on a few products, but not a lot.
Mhm.
And so cool to see them get their hat in the ring of the American single malt category. And I think this is a strong offering.
Yeah, I've had that, and honestly, I was a little skeptical going in.
Hmm.
Um, I've become a little bit of a single malt snob, American single malt snob, and really become a fan of what a lot of the craft whiskeys are doing in that space, and was a little, let's just call it skeptical for what a company the size of Beam would do, trying to really follow the lead of what craft has been doing. But I was impressed. I thought it
Sure.
was really, really good.
Yeah.
And I think it's apple smoked single malt. If I'm
Yeah, there's 100% single malt, American single malt, and then there's like a 20% golden smoked single malt.
okay,
Was the mash bill that I found online. So
okay, yeah,
I'm not sure what the smoke is. Applewood's a good guess.
I think it is. I think it is. But
Okay. Yeah.
and I'll tell you why I think that in just a second. Um, but I like it. I like it a lot, and
Yeah.
was very pleased with the way they brought that to the market, and I think it's a good change of pace for what they've been doing. And so
Absolutely.
that brings us to my next one, which is this little book, chapter 7, called In Retrospect.
Mm,
And as you can see, this is the first time I'm opening this bottle.
gotta love that.
Yeah. What are your favorite sounds in the world? Okay. If
Black
you're
wax cracking.
so this actually last week at Westport Whiskey and Wine, Beth Burrows, who is I think the national brand ambassador for Jim Beam,
Hmm.
was doing a deconstructed tasting for Little Book 7, and there are different components to this that uh, that we 4 different components of it that we got to try. Well, 3 different components, and then the final product. And one of the components was standard Beam rye, like a Knob Creek rye, Kentucky
Hmm.
rye. One was a blend of 4 different bourbons, and then there was a new rye that is more of a Monongahela rye that has yet
Okay.
to be released. That that was really good. We're
Okay.
looking forward to that hitting the market.
Absolutely. I don't mean to distract you, but does that have any influence from our friend Jerry Dalton? Because I
Uh,
know there was some rumors about his experimentation.
I don't know. I
Okay.
don't know, but
Okay.
it's 80% rye, 20% malted barley, no corn,
Interesting.
which makes the whiskey very interesting. And then there was the American single malt. So uh, they give you these little uh, neck collars for the bottles,
Hmm.
and as you reach a certain age where you realize I don't need to be playing tackle football anymore, and because unless I'm a professional, there you also reach a certain age where you can't read this. Okay, it's just no. So I've looked it up online. There is, it's a blend of 7 different whiskeys, um, and you've got a 18-year-old bourbon, a 17-year-old bourbon, a 10-year-old rye, a 9-year-old bourbon, a 4-year-old bourbon, a 4-year-old rye, and a 5-year-old straight malt finished in applewood smoked barrels. So,
Okay. There's your hint
yeah.
on the
So,
Clermont. Yeah.
Little Book 7. Now, you've tried some of the other Little Books, right?
Yeah. I think I've had all of
Thoughts?
them except for
Yeah.
this newest ones. I love them. There's so much cool that goes on. Obviously, we love bourbon, we love rye, we love American single malt, we love corn whiskey. Little Book is one of the cooler expressions that we get to
Yeah.
try, I think, every year that really tries to do something new with all of the categories and kind of pays homage to the importance of a blender
Yeah.
and a unique palate.
Yeah.
So kind of paying homage to all of those grains and bringing in different distillates. It's really cool. I have no complaints about any of the Little Books that I've tried so far.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see what you think about this one.
Yeah. It's very good. And the the single malt isn't necessarily prominent on the nose. It's almost like if you have a really good batch of Bookers,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of caramel, some red fruit, a little nuttiness in there, but on the palate, it is oh gosh, there's a lot of fruit in it,
Mm.
and not necessarily the fruit that you normally get from a beam bourbon, especially high proof beam bourbon. And I think this one weighs in at 58.5,
Whew.
118.1 proof. So,
All
um,
right.
and the highest proof component of it is the single malt,
Interesting.
and that brings in a lot of the lighter fruit notes like apricot and
Mm.
apple, and then the finish is you get some oak in it. Okay, you know where I am with oak. I don't like something that's
Yep.
really really oaky. I don't want that tannic, dry your mouth out feel to it.
Sure.
This oak is uh, okay. Hey, look here. This has bourbon in it, and it was and rye in it, and it was aged in oak barrels. But it's just kind of a nod to it. There's some nice baking spices. There's some clove in it, but it it does the opposite of uh, drying out your palate. There's not anything tannic to it. If anything, it kind of makes you salivate.
Yeah.
And I like that. But this is terrific, and you can definitely taste the influence of that Clermont Steep, that beam
Mm-hmm.
single malt in it. And I like the fact that Freddie's he'll try anything. I know that he got some crap from people. You putting 2-year-old bourbon in. Okay, it's good.
Yeah.
It's good. Just,
Yeah.
just drink it. Quit reading the label and just
Mhm.
drink it. And if it's good, then move on and learn something. But yeah, I think that he's had a uh, solid hits on all of these. Uh, I think 3 was the one where it was each of the small batch collection at barrel
Yes.
proof.
Yes. That was a
So
banger.
yeah, and I think they've all been really good. And this one is no slouch at all. It holds up, and I appreciate them doing it. I think it's a lot of fun, um, and obviously a nod to uh, Freddie's grandfather Booker,
Mhm.
and actually the name of Freddie's first son
Mhm.
Booker is also named Booker. So, and Freddie was called Little Book, basically because he followed his granddad around the distillery all the time. And from people that have known them both, they say that Freddie has a lot of the same mannerisms and uh, style as Booker. So,
Mhm.
and that's not a bad thing at all.
Not even a little bit.
Yeah,
Yeah, I love that. I love that.
yeah, yeah,
Well, that's exciting.
yeah,
Glad you got to try that.
yeah.
Of the 4 that you tasted for the deconstructed tasting, was there a favorite out of the 4?
That Monongahela rye style. That was really, really good. It had a lot of citrus notes to it
Mm.
that were kind of surprising, and yeah, everybody and there were we're in the room with a bunch of I don't know, there's 25, 30 people there, and you have the people that uh, this isn't spicy and it's a rye. Yeah, idiot. Uh, it's not. That's
Grow
not.
up? Yeah.
That's not
No.
fair. That's not fair. Okay. Rye is not spicy. Rye is not spicy. Do blind tastings. You'll you will not peg the rye. You won't. If you're looking, if the way you're judging is this a rye or is this a bourbon, is well, is it spicy or not, you will lose. Okay. But it is not spicy. It is very floral. It is very citrusy. It is, yeah, it's one of those things that is very easy to drink. So I'll be interested to see when this gets released. And I talked with Beth after the presentation. Uh, she'll be coming on the show sometime, probably in January or February. So
Awesome.
it'll be fun. We'll get to talk about a lot of Jim Beam products, and I love what they do. It's really good
Absolutely.
stuff. Yeah.
Cool stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Love
So
it.
I got a couple things here you need to try. So
Yeah.
we'll figure that out.
I
I
think
think
we might have a bourbon club meeting before too long.
I think we might. I think we might. So yeah. So yeah, you'll have to definitely hang around and make sure that you get to try these. But
Absolutely.
okay. So before we get into the music side, I want you to talk about your music and what's going on, and
Sure.
if you've got some, I know that you've got some tour dates and performance dates coming up. If you want to share
Yep.
those,
Absolutely. So the biggest thing right now, we just put out a single called Palomino. Palomino is the final single off this next record. I'm really proud of this one. Not to be overly emotional, but this feels like a real step forward for me as far as personal expression, as far as songwriting, as far as production and all that kind of things. I think we really took a step forward with this. So
Mhm.
that is out wherever you stream music. We've got a little bit of radio play here in Louisville, got a little bit of radio play in Chicago. So if you're in those markets and you hear it on the radio, tell
Mhm.
your local radio station you're excited about it. We'd love to get to stick around. Hopefully, in the next couple days, we'll be hearing about some placement in Lexington and Indy as well. So
Awesome.
excited about that. We've got a new record that will be out uh, very soon. I've said dates before. We've talked about it, and we've just missed the target as far as getting everything done to the place that we're satisfied with it. So New record is coming very soon. That's all I'll say.
Okay.
And then if you're up in Indianapolis, I'll be there on December the 5th and December the 6th, playing some dates at the Tin Roof location there.
Oh, cool.
I'll be there the 8th and the 9th in the Tin Roof Cincinnati. So I'll be up in that market. We'll be at the Stagger Inn late December. I think it's the 28th and 29th. I need to go back and look at my calendar. I don't have it handy. So we're just going to be kind of popping all around just outside of Louisville.
Yeah.
and
Now, is
trying
this
to do some
you or
dates
is
there.
this with the band?
A little bit of both. So the
Okay.
indie dates and the Cincy dates will be with just me solo.
Yep.
And then we'll be up there in Cincy. In Lexington with the whole band. So
Awesome.
yeah, we're all around, and then hopefully we have a slew of things to announce with the new record. But I'll save those for a later show.
Good. Great stuff.
Yeah.
Love it.
Thank you guys for listening. I'm honored that anybody takes the time to listen. So much appreciated.
Yeah. And everybody that I've talked to that's listened to this loves it. Okay. Palomino is a hit in the making. And I would agree. I think that it is a step up for you in terms of writing and recording and top-notch stuff. And you know how I feel about you and your music. So
much appreciated.
Yep.
I'm gonna attribute that solely to your presence in the studio on that day and bringing us good whiskey. And I think we ate some hot chicken, and yeah,
we did. Yes.
We're just gonna make that a group contribution. So
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
I sincerely appreciate it. Jokes aside, thank you.
Yeah. I believe when you released this, you had credits on there.
Indeed.
And I saw my name, and it was the by the initials WS. I'm like, World Series.
Whiskey
White
support.
Stud. No, it was whiskey support. Which okay, I'll take that. Whatever I can
It
get.
is a valuable contribution to our creative process and the studio experience. So, in all sincerity, thank you for the support. Thank you for coming and hanging out. It means a lot, and I'm excited about what's next.
Yeah. I know I enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun. I tried to stay out of the way and commented on a few things here and there, and but that's just sorry. Anyway, all right. So new music besides Palomino from our very own Drew Crawley. We're going to talk about some other new music out there, some of which you may have heard of, some of which you may have not. So if you have new music that you're listening to, drop it in the comments. Same thing with the whiskey. If you've got a new whiskey that you're drinking, tell us about that. But right now, Drew, tell me one that you've got that's new.
Yeah. So this is a new one to me in the last couple of weeks. It's not a new band, but a new record. And it is the album Wandering Star by a band called Flatland Cavalry. So they're out of West Texas, Amarillo area. And this is one of the cooler bands that I've had the chance to see live, had the chance to appreciate their music. If you're familiar at all with Cleo Cordero of the West Texas Cowboys, this is his actual band that he's a part of. If you're familiar with Caitlin Butts and the Grammy considerations and CMA contributions, that's his wife. So really cool record. I just love this kind of old school style songwriters. You've got some banjo parts, you got some mandolin parts, you got pedal steel, and then more than anything, you've got just brilliant harmonies. So really was enjoying this one. Last American Summer is a standout for me. Mornings with You is a standout for me. And then Ought to See You the Way I Do was a standout as well. So check that record out. It's really good if you're into kind of the old school country thing, or even the West, not West, but Red Dirt country and or Appalachian country. These guys are kind of right in that sweet spot. So I think you'll enjoy this if you're into the songwriter and kind of acoustic instrument thing. It's a great record.
Yeah. How long has this been out, Drew?
10 days as of the time of recording. Okay. I think it came out not this past Friday, but the Friday before. So,
Okay.
yeah, about 10 days.
I don't. Now, the last album that they had come out, was that their first one, or
They had Homeland Insecurity, which was their last full LP, and then
yeah?
they had Humble Folks, I think was the last EP
Okay,
that came out last year. So
okay.
it's been a few.
I think that's the one I've listened to, and I
Yeah.
enjoyed it. I thought it was really good.
Yeah.
I thought it was
Well,
really good.
this is a different kind of approach. There's actually a few songs that are on the Humble Folks EP that
Mhm.
were on this one, just kind of remastered and
Okay.
tracked professionally, a little bit higher quality. So,
Yeah.
so if you like the earlier recordings, I think you'll like this one as well.
Very cool.
Yeah. What about you?
This is a band you may have heard of before. They're called the Rolling Stones, and
What?
this
Who's
is
that?
just some old dudes. But I think this is their first studio album in I think 18 years. It's called Hackney Diamonds.
Mhm.
It's been out a few weeks now. I like it. It's not necessarily groundbreaking stuff. It is, if you rank it in Rolling Stones albums, there are some that it will definitely eclipse. But it's not going to be something that's going to rival the Sticky Fingers or Exile on Main Street or anything like that. But there is one song on here called Sweet Sound of Heaven
Yeah.
that they have Lady Gaga come in and sing with them. It's spectacular.
Mhm.
It's Song of the Year territory good. And even without Lady Gaga, great song. And when you consider Mick Jagger, who is 77, I think now, something around
That
that.
sounds correct. Yep.
Uh, there's a lot of retrospect, looking in retrospect, kind of vibe to it,
Mhm.
and really good song. I like it a lot, and Lady Gaga's presence and vocals just kind of take it over the top. So
Absolutely. Yeah.
the album itself is definitely worth listening to, especially if you're a Rolling Stones fan. The Keith song, there's got to be a Keith song on every album anymore, or for the past I don't know 40 years, uh, or 50. But the Keith song is really good too. So highly recommend it. This is the first album they did without Charlie Watts.
Mhm.
Steve Jordan came in and played drums. He was he's well renowned and respected session drummer, but most people know him as being the drummer on the Late Night with David Letterman show a long
Mhm.
time ago. But
Yep.
yeah, really good
Yep.
stuff. Good stuff.
Also, the drummer on Continuum and the Live in LA albums with John Mayer.
That is right. Yes.
Yep.
Thank you for mentioning that. Oh yeah. Oh,
Yeah, he's incredible. So I was curious, what record label did the new Stones album come out?
I have no idea.
Okay. I was just curious because I
I'm
know Steve Jordan owns a record label and he's fairly
I,
reticent to put
I'm
out anything that's not on it.
I'm sure that it is. Well, I'm sure that he's not going to tell the Rolling Stones, "Hey, you're going to put this on my label. You're not going to do
Yeah,
it."
yeah, yeah.
I'm sure it's on the Stones label.
Okay.
So yeah,
No,
yeah.
it's a great record. And I'm somebody who's not necessarily the biggest Stones fan in the world,
Mhm.
but I think you and I chatted about it when it came out, maybe briefly, and then I
Yep.
went and listened to it a couple of days ago. Great record, and that tune in particular with Gaga is just over the top good.
Yeah, yeah. The first single that came out is the first song on the album, and it's called "Angry." It's all right. Um, it's not bad. It's not great. It's kind of, to me, it's a little forgettable, especially if you're looking at it in terms of Rolling Stones catalog, but Sweet Sounds of Heaven, that's a standout. Yeah. So, all right, what else you
Love it.
got?
Cool. New artist for me is a guy out of West Virginia named Pony Bradshaw.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been kind of on a little kick recently trying to listen to Appalachian songwriters and Appalachian country music,
Yep.
just because we are kind of in that world. And the
Mhm.
more and more I move into it, the more I'm drawn to it. So Pony Bradshaw, specifically the album North Georgia Rounder,
Mhm.
was his newest one. That was kind of the one that got me. And then I've been listening back through, obviously, some back catalog stuff, but a couple of songs on that. Go Down Appalachia was really, really good. Kind of talking about the opiate crisis in the Appalachian Mountain and Appalachian regions. Holler Rose, great love song.
Mhm.
And then Safe in the Arms of Vernacular were the three standouts from that record for me. Guy's got an incredible voice, just some really cool open tuning stuff as well.
Mhm.
I hesitate to get guitar nerdy on a show like this
Yep.
when we're not interviewing musicians, but
That's all right.
a lot of the open tunings, kind of the Chris Robinson and Rolling Stones, open G, open D,
Yeah.
those kind of things. And I love kind of the tone that it takes. So I'd
Yeah.
recommend checking out that record. Go listen to some of his older stuff, but those three tunes, Holler Rose, Go Down Appalachia, and then Safe in the Arms of Vernacular.
Yeah.
Don't think you'll be disappointed.
Yeah. No, I'd not heard of Pony Bradshaw before. Would be interested to know, is Pony his real government name, or
I'm gonna guess no,
that would be my guess
but
too.
it is West Virginia.
It is West
so
Virginia. It absolutely could be, but that's stay tuned. We'll research it and let you know next time. But no, I'll look forward to hearing that. So started out with a band that everybody knows.
mhm.
Now I want to tell you one that I'm guessing that almost nobody knows. This is a band called Elephant Corduroys.
Yes.
And I did not realize it, but elephant corduroys are actually a thing. It's a style of pant. But Elephant Corduroys has a new album out called Much Love. And I know the guy who's the lead singer, guitarist, and songwriter is a young man named Jack Markham. I know his dad a little bit. We go to church together, and Jack is, and his dad's really talented too.
Mhm.
Could play virtually any instrument that you need him to. I've seen him in bands where he plays guitar and sings. I've seen him in bands where he plays the drums. I've seen him just, the bass player's not here. Can you play? And he'll walk over and he'll play bass. So really talented guy. But Jack is equally as talented. And this is him and his band. The one of the guys that's in the band is he's studying recording engineering out at Arizona or Arizona State or something. And so he did all the production work on the album.
Mhm.
And Drew, I'd sent this to you after I'd heard it.
Yes.
And it is very refreshing in terms of the production of it, because it is as stripped down as you can get. My understanding is that all they did was EQ. There's no
Mhm.
any other effects on any of it, and you can tell
Mhm.
because the vocals are not perfect. You
Sure.
know, it's all raw, and when I mean raw, I don't mean bad. I mean it's just very real,
Yep.
and the songwriting is good. The everything about it I just really enjoy. It's a little quirky, which is
Mhm.
fun, but it's worth checking out. Probably my favorite on the album is a song called "Me You're Looking For," And so give it a try. Elephant Corduroys, much love. So
Agreed. Yeah. Now I love this one when you sent it to me and you told me there's some unique things about the production. So I went into it kind of listening with a different ear. And just like you said, these guys rock and they're doing it in as much of an authentic, unproduced in terms of effects and perfecting everything kind of a way. You know, and I loved kind of the back to the 70s sound that they had. They're having fun. You get to hear a few of those moments on the record when they're just goofing off between takes or whatever is what it seems like. And then the other thing I loved is that they kind of created the album to be a side A and a side B like you would with a vinyl. And that's a lost art. And that, you know, they recorded tracks specifically to speak to that and to kind of carry over between sides of the records. It was fun. I just really had fun listening to the record.
And you're right, because in one of the songs they say now's the time we're turn the album over, and that's a shout out really, or a nod to Tom Petty on his Full Moon. I think it was on Full Moon Fever album, Running Down a Dream. As that song ends, he says, "Attention CD listeners, please wait so our cassette and album listeners can turn the album," you know, something like that. And I thought it was really cool that they kind of gave that nod to Tom Petty too. So fun album. They have a good. You're right. They're having a good time doing this, and hopefully they'll be able to do some live shows. You know, sometime before the end of the year.
Yep.
So, all right. What else you have?
Love to catch it. I've got one more, and this is actually an artist that I've talked about before on the show. Somebody that I saw open for Noah Kahan, an artist named Jack Van Cleef. He's out of the Chattanooga, Tennessee area. Great singer-songwriter, but really kind of obsessive with poetry. And that's obviously something that I'm drawn to. I can't do it for anything, but I really appreciate it when someone else does it well. So put out an album last year called Fruit from the Trees that I've really fallen in love with over the course of this year. A couple of songs on there: Pearl Harbor Day, Cowboy, and Rattlesnake. Those three in particular I think are worth paying attention to. He uses some really cool techniques as far as slant rhyming and poetry, as far as lyricism and things like that. The guy's just really brilliant, and he does a lot of things to keep it super, super simple. I think a lot of people that are in that singer-songwriter vein, they want to come in and add a million parts and do everything they can. I think Jack Van Cleef has done a really good job of saying, okay, what does this song need to serve the text of what I'm writing? And that's the thing that I'm most impressed with him, is just really careful choices about instrumentation. And you know, he can rock, he can do a ballad, but those three songs in particular, I think, show the range of him. And I've just been really impressed with him. He's got a couple of new singles out, but if you get a chance to listen to that new record, that Fruit from the Tree, you know, it's a little bit older, but definitely worth your time, I would say.
Cool. Yeah,
you've listened to him a little bit, haven't you? Yeah, a
little bit. I don't remember, honestly, don't remember exactly what album I've listened to, but I know I've listened to some of his stuff. And yeah, you're absolutely right. Very vivid, poetic lyrics. Yeah.
Shocker! I'm lyrics first. I know that surprises absolutely nobody. We talk about what we're listening to.
Yeah. Wow. Hey, a couple more that I've got here. One, our friends, Bourbon House, Lacey Crow, Jason Clark. They have, since they've been on our show. See, this is why you need to, you know, come on our show. Since they've been on our show, they've signed with a record label. So that's good. And now they've got another single coming out called Running Hot. As this show airs, or it's already been out for probably a week or so. So check that out. Really, really fun band. Really talented. Jason is an incredibly good guitarist, especially on slide guitar stuff. I think he's just a master of that. And Lacey's vocals are very unique, very sultry. I really enjoyed them. We had a great time when we had them on the show.
Mhm.
Drew, any thoughts on Bourbon House?
They're just incredibly talented. There's a few of those kind of dynamic duos out there when it
Mhm.
comes to guitar players and lyricist singers. You think about Lindsey Buckingham and Stevie Nicks, and then I
Yeah.
think you should think about Jason and Lacey.
Yeah.
They are really, really special in what they do. So yeah,
Yeah. Speaking of other duos, I'm hoping that next week I'll be able to go see Parker Barrow, and they're just so good. I love them. They're. I don't know that we've done a show where after the show was over, I'm like, I just love these people.
Mhm.
I wish they could be my neighbors.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah,
They're
they're fantastic. One other, and I want to mention, because I got my Bagman T-shirt on.
Mhm.
Bagman, our friend Steve Gorman, who we've had on the show a couple times, Luther Dickinson and on guitar, and Nick Govrick on bass and vocals. We got to see them in at Northern Kentucky up in Covington.
Mhm.
I don't know, a couple months ago, maybe.
Yeah, probably 2 months. Yeah,
Yeah. They
that was
keep,
great.
yeah, they keep releasing maybe 2 songs at a time. I don't know that they're going to release an album per se, but they just keep releasing music a little bit at a time. It's all so good. The and a lot of it is just extended jam kind of stuff, and let's Luther show off. Steve isn't really the show off type. I mean, his
Mhm.
thing is, I'm going to lay down a a, a drum beat, a rhythm that allows my bandmates to shine, and he does that as well as anybody in the business. So just go to uh, Spotify or Apple Music, wherever you get your tunes, and look up Bagmen and just hit play, and it'll take you through. I think right now they've probably got around 7 or 8 songs
I
out.
think 7. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, definitely worth your time. I think you'll enjoy it. Of course, Steve was one of the founding members and drummers for the Black Crows, and has a band called Trigger Hippie, and this little side project called Bagmen. Nick plays with Steve and Trigger Hippie, and of course, Luther Dickinson is in North Mississippi All Stars. So
Mhm.
that can't go wrong with that trio.
Not even a little bit. I would just say, yes, listen to them on Spotify, buy anything that they are offering you. But if you get a chance to go see those guys live, holy cow.
Yeah,
It was you and me and a couple of our friends sitting in a tiny little venue in Northern Kentucky, and those guys absolutely blew the roof off the place
yeah,
for 90 minutes. It was
yeah,
incredible.
yeah,
So check
yeah.
them out.
The only thing wrong with that evening was, what was with that opening band?
The opening band sucks, dude. They suck.
So I don't know if the owner of the place, owed a favor to one of these guys' dads, or if one of the guys in the band is his dealer. I don't know, but it was not good. It was not good.
Yeah.
But
Bagman tore it up.
Bagman tore it up. They more than made up for it. So go see him if you possibly can. I know that they're playing in Minneapolis coming up soon, but that's probably already happened as this show airs. But we'll keep you posted on our Facebook page as we learn more about what their performing schedule may be. So, all right. Anything else?
I have an honorable mention, but this is just
Yeah.
one that we might save. Chris Stapleton put out a record about 48 hours ago from the time that we are recording this. And
Yeah.
man, it is really freaking good.
He is good. I've heard that he's good.
I don't know, where this guy came from.
Yeah.
No, it's incredible. Another Dave Cobb produced record. Just killer guitar grooves, killer songwriting. The vocals are amazing. The harmonies are amazing. I'm gonna save my official review for maybe another show, maybe
Yep.
our year end music of the
Yeah.
year type situation. But holy cow,
uh,
it's pretty stinking good.
we need to do a Chris Stapleton show. So we can cover that then, because there's a lot to cover. And we've learned a few industry insider things about Chris Stapleton along the way over the last
Mhm.
year or two. So we can share those with folks, and not that we're tight with Chris Stapleton or anything, but if you know him, we'll take him on the show.
Yeah.
All right. We'll take him
Absolutely.
on the show. Yeah.
I've heard he's a whiskey fan.
I think he'd pass. Yeah.
Probably get him in.
Yeah. I think we'd let him. We'd work it out.
Yeah.
No, that's a good one.
Good deal.
I like that.
You have any others? Any honorable mentions for you right now? Anybody that you're feeling out?
I don't know. I don't know that I have anything else right now, which is kind of sad, but
That's all right.
No,
I'm sure the text thread will grow this week, and we'll find some more.
I do not doubt it. Do not doubt it at all. But anybody out there listening or watching our show, give these things a listen that we've talked about, the whiskeys that we've talked about, give them a try. Let us know what you think. If you're trying anything new on either the whiskey side or the music side, let us know. We're always interested in trying new and different things. So
Absolutely.
all right. That was fun. I always enjoy doing that. It's always good. I always learn a few things, and it's nice to talk about some of the new stuff that I've encountered too. So,
Indeed.
Yep. All right. So, Drew, tell everybody where they can find you on social media.
Yep. You can find me on Instagram at drew.crawley63. That's where I'm most active. If you're looking for tour dates and music links, it's drewcrawleymusic.com. Be honored if you'd follow along anywhere amongst those platforms.
Yep. All good stuff. Very good stuff. As for our show, you can watch us on YouTube. Go on over there, subscribe, like, share, all those fun things that we want you to do. Pick one. Okay, I don't care which one. If it's I'm just going to share this. Cool, love it, appreciate it. Or I'm going to subscribe. Fantastic. Would greatly appreciate that as well. If you want to listen to the show, maybe you're driving to work, don't want to wreck watching all the hilarity and antics that we're on while you're driving. That's probably a good call on your part. But you can listen to us on your favorite podcast platform, as long as it's Apple, Spotify, or Google. We have a Facebook page where we release all of our shows. We have a Facebook group where we talk about new music and new whiskey, and we talk about old music and old whiskey, and you'll find something that you've not tried before on either the music or whiskey side, and you can probably share some things that we may not have had before too. So please join us there. So until next time, on behalf of Drew and myself and Turner Wathen, who's made this decadent rum.
Mm-mm-mm.
Okay. I'm sitting here and I'm holding it. I mean, it's probably a foot from my nose, and I can smell it, man. It is just, anyway, on behalf of Drew and myself, cheers, love, and Freebird.
Cheers.
Good night.